Well, that was, of course, Ludwig van Beethoven, the greatest man in human history. It's my show, I can say it if I want to.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, if you ask most musicians who we think the greatest man was, most of us would, believe it or not, say the Hungarian Franz Liszt. And it's not just because he got all the girls. I mean, I have to admit, that's kind of why I admire Captain Dog as well, but still. Oh boy, am I gonna get in trouble. I'll never be on this ship again. No, at any rate, Liszt led the most amazing life in which he knew that he was not the world's greatest composer, he was just the greatest pianist who had ever lived. So he decided to use his talent to help everyone around him. And I mentioned how he essentially started Chopin's career when Chopin arrived from Poland, but he also took the terribly sad story of Franz Schubert, who died at the age of just 31, if you can imagine, after having written 1,200 pieces of music. Staggering. I have no idea where they found the time to do this stuff. You look back, you cannot figure it out, really. Actually, there is a reason. I'll tell you what it is. We all wonder, why did there seem to be so much time in the old days, and there isn't today? I read a long book that put the blame on one man, and that man was Alexander Graham Bell. As soon as they invented the telephone, you suddenly had to stay in touch with 200 people instead of 20. And today's with phones, forget it. Our lives are done. At any rate, Liszt would help everybody, and in the process helped himself, as you might imagine. What happened was, when he was just 16 years old, he decided he was going to be the great virtuoso of the piano, much like Rachmaninoff did, and I talked about this in my first show, taking the theme of Paganini's and writing this beautiful rhapsody on it to glorify the music. Liszt decided to take Paganini's music and show what he could do with it on the piano. In other words, he said, Mr. Paganini, you're great, it's very impressive on the violin, but watch this. Now, Liszt was very young and extremely ambitious, but the pieces he cranked out were unbelievably beautiful, as you'll see in a moment. And he managed to make Paganini's legacy huge. It's the reason there are so many composers who wrote things like the Rhapsody on a theme of Paganini. So the best one that he did was to take a little piece of Paganini's where Paganini showed off all the bell-like sounds he could make on the violin. He called it La Campanella, like the campanile, the bell. And in this bell piece, Paganini got a lot of effects, but nothing like what Franz Liszt was able to do on the piano. Now, the wonder of this piece is the virtuosic Hungarian European piano writing, but also the very quaint melody, which is irresistible and sounds like it's straight out of the Godfather movie. So, you have the best of both worlds, Italian melody and Franz Liszt virtuosity in La Campanella.